I would love to talk a little bit about your competition aspirations and also your competition history. Like obviously you guys are multi-world salsa champions, like in your partner divisions and in your solo divisions.
Mhm.
Do you guys have any more plans to compete like in professional divisions in the future?
Uh, I think so. I don't think I'm done. Um, I haven't really been thinking about it so much right now. We've been so focused on getting everything else together, and having stopped for 3 months was a big stress too.
Mm,
Um, Having closed down the business and everything, so we've been mainly focusing on our business to be able to continue and figure out, okay, how are we going to do this to make sure that after 5 long years of working so hard, we won't have to close these doors.
mm,
But that's kind of the situation that we're in right now, and the path that we chose as artists as well, because we chose to sign a lease and have a studio and have that aspect of it, and not just the traveling. And you know we just did it that way, and it comes with a lot more responsibilities, obviously. And
hmm
um, you know we just gotta deal with that right now, because it's that's literally our future, right? We've chosen to be dancers at 100%,
hmm
and right now it is what it is, right? So dance kind of comes last, right? We're really lucky to have the clients that we have, and to have a studio that is like a family. A lot of our
mm.
clients that come in, I see them all the time. I see them almost more than I see my parents. And yeah, because they're so dedicated, and
Yeah.
I really love that I get to share that with people from here locally. And it's a really nice feeling to get to do those one-on-ones and really see someone grow and follow their dreams in what they want to do with dance, right? So
Mm.
anyway, I feel fortunate for that, and I'm just happy that we're able to restart with them and get things back
You
on track.
you had a men's team, I think, Adriano, in one of the recent competitions. But I don't know if Sammy, is there a ladies team, in the pipelines for the future or
Right now
something?
she has a ladies team. I don't have
Yeah.
a men's team right now.
Huh.
Yeah.
I usually always have 1 to 2 ladies teams at the studio, but they don't always travel with us,
Yep.
especially to the
Mm,
summit, or they'll do Canadian or local events.
mm,
So I
Yep.
think that maybe that's why you haven't seen them yet. But
Mm.
yeah,
I
but
have to come to Canada.
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Or we got to bring the whole
Well, it's because
team to Australia.
not all of our, like, we don't oblige it, and our teams, we're very open with that. Like, if it everyone could be here for a different reason. Some people just come to train, and some
Mm.
people come to get on stage, and some people are willing to travel, and some people are less willing to travel, depending on their line of work, their availability, etc., etc. So
Mm.
sometimes with teams, it becomes hard to bring everybody abroad.
Hmm.
Mm.
Um, we try our best with whoever is willing and able.
Mm.
But yeah, that's it. But if not, we have a lot more stuff that goes on in the studio, obviously, that a lot of people from the outside or internationally don't see what we're doing locally, and
hmm
vice versa, right?
Mm.
When we're in Australia, maybe they'll catch a little video clip of our workshop, but our students here don't necessarily know what's going on there, right? So
Yep.
it's kind of like that.
So in regard to what divisions you pick when you guys compete, so you guys do salsa on two and you guys have your solos. Is there any plans to branch into other styles? Because I also know you did salsa teams. You did salsa teams cabaret one year, which was like incredible. Like Team Canada was like
Yeah,
show-stopping. Like you
it was a
guys,
beautiful
and and
experience.
and the fact that you put that routine together whilst you all lived in different cities,
Yeah.
like, and in such a short amount of time for like the biggest competition in the world, like this is incredible. Like, do you guys want to keep pushing in like the mambo direction?
Absolutely. I think it's definitely what we love the most. We really both love doing partner work, and we love the on two division. Mainly just the just dance aspect. We like doing tricks, obviously, but we've never trained it as much. We focused on our dancing from when we were really young. We were really into those just dance
It was
divisions.
also always my dream to win the on two. Like, it just meant something to me. From when I was a kid, I would watch
Mm.
Oliver, and it's true. And
Oliver
I've
and
told him so
Mooneye.
many times, even when I was in Australia, like, I would watch him dance, and I was
Inspired.
super inspired, super
Mm.
inspired.
How was it for you to compete against him? Because obviously, like I remember you saying that he was a massive inspiration for you, and like you're saying now, like you watched him as a child, watching him compete, and then like 10 years later, you're on stage with him competing against him. How did that feel?
Uh, it very mixed feelings because it's so hard. Like you want to win, right? Because you're in competition. I believe that any competitor goes into it with that ambition, and at least you should, to try to do your best more so than anything else. But I don't know. It wasn't very, for me. I felt it as a nice moment. Yes. Stressful too, because you're in the heat of a competition. For
Of course.
myself, regardless to who I'm competing with, sorry, I don't base myself on that. I base myself on myself and my showcase and what I'm gonna do, right? And that is what stresses me out more so than who I'm against. But yeah, I felt good about it. It was a beautiful experience. It was a beautiful experience because I really admire him. So it was just nice to get to do that. It was a pretty tight competition though between us.
You, Mario, and Oliver, absolutely. Like I think if you start naming names about people who have done well in that division, you guys are one of the top three names that would come up in that conversation. And then in an event in Australia, which is like in the middle of two oceans where no one really goes for salsa events, you have one of like a history making moment between three of the best salsa soloists like in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, where did that happen? It happened here. Like, happened up the road from where I live.
I know.
It was an awesome night. I was there watching, and it was just amazing to see the three of them, one after the other, sharing that stage. It was the energy in that room was incredible.
I bet. So in regard to competition, like how do you guys go about preparing? Like obviously your routines, you can get like a year out of the routine. So if you go to this competition and then 3 months later you've got the next competition, so the routine will mature and you'll become more familiar with it, and you may change things based off feedback that you get in previous competitions. Before you guys do like Summit, for example, how many months preparation before you guys take the stage for the first time?
Oh, I would say at least minimum 6 months of already knowing where I'm going with my routine and like having it somewhat established, and then working on it with coaches at different events. If we're at an event with one artist, then we'll get privates and see what they think, and we continuously train and try to get as many third eyes as possible to really just see what we're doing and just see if they have any advice for us to make it better. And then we always put together our own routines, obviously, because we want to keep our own essence, and I want to feel the music. We choreograph a lot of pieces, so I never wanted to change that. But we still go out and get coached and to see what other people have to offer, and maybe one little part could be such a little thing like a one bar, and it changes the rest of your routine, and it helps you and it makes you feel good. So I definitely think coaching is super important on so many levels.
And the more you can get of it, the better. It's the more people that can, everybody has kind of something to bring to the table. So it's super important to constantly train and never give that up. And we usually do, before the summit, we have the Canadian National Championships that are in October. So that's usually where we break the ice with our new routine. So we'll compete with it there. And then that still gives
Jennifer O'Coin was on before. I don't know if she's still with us, but she produces the event here, the Canada Salsa Congress.
And is that a festival and a competition, or is it purely a competition?
It's both. It's one of the biggest events here in Canada. Yeah.
Okay. What city?
A lot of Canadians go there. Like you guys, Harold and Regan, let's say.
Of course.
They're there with us all the time. And that's usually where they also break their ice for their routines.
Right. Okay.
So it's like us Canadians breaking the ice before we hit the world stage.
That's quite a nice analogy given where you live. And Adriano, who would you seek out for advice on your solos?
Samantha. I'm serious.
Yeah, I believe you. I'm sure that you guys
I'm
help with
really
each other.
serious.
Like Samantha, are you super
I've
critical
gotten
of his solos?
inspired. Sorry.
Is Samantha super critical? She's like, nah, change it.
No,
Or is
she's
she
not
really
critical.
supportive?
She really just helps me get to. Sometimes I have ideas and stuff, and she just helps me sort it out, and she helps me stay focused and on track, and that kind of helps me get to my end goal. I feel like that she's helped me a lot, 100%.
But I mean, I feel like that goes both ways for us. We choreograph everything together. So whether it be a team routine or a solo, men or women, it doesn't matter. We'll usually ask for each other's input and work on things together. For us, it just works better that way.
I enjoy her presence while I choreograph. I'll say that.